Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and oh my God, Prager University is back at it again. These guys are not happy, not one bit happy with YouTube. They have filed a secondary lawsuit after losing the first one, and it will be very interesting to see what happens because they're claiming censorship. They're claiming censorship, and YouTube's like, no, not at all, sir. You're mistaken. Okay, PragerU, sit down and continue promoting Candace Owens. Again, every time they put out a video and it's like, oh geez, oh my God, it's like, it's pure propaganda at this point. I mean, they have a right to do it, but it's like, let's be fair and call it what it is. It's propaganda. But anyway, PragerU files new lawsuit against Google and YouTube censorship row. Gotta make sure I say that correctly. Now, PragerU has filed a new lawsuit in its legal battle with Google, ramping up its allegations of online censorship against the tech giant and its YouTube video sharing service. Founded by radio host Dennis Prager, the conservative nonprofit produces short videos that promotes concepts such as limited government and free markets. Yeah, but it's like hosted by some like the shittiest people out there. Dave Rubin, I'm looking square at you, man. The suit was filed against Google and its YouTube subsidiary with the state of California Tuesday, marking the latest development in PragerU's ongoing legal tussle with the Mountain View, California-based firm. You have to love that they added in Mountain View, California, because everyone's like, where the fuck is Mountain View from? It's San Francisco, Silicon Valley area. Yeah, you know the areas. You know how smug it is. Now, this lawsuit is round 2 of the parties' dispute over whether Google and YouTube are above the law when it comes to regulating free speech and expression on YouTube solely because the defendants are private entities who own and operate YouTube for their own for-profit and commercial gain. See, this is the thing. This is where it does get into a very interesting discussion. It does get into a very interesting discussion because ultimately what it boils down to is you have a private company and their ability to control what they want on their platform, right? Now, this is where it comes into a very interesting argument because what you have is you've got, and this is predominantly right-leaning individuals, I'll give them credit here, are coming out and saying, this is censorship. This is a violation of free speech. First Amendment. And I'm right there with them, right? I'm right there with them. First Amendment. Right there. But then you got to go look at the other side of the coin and also what those same people talk about, especially when it comes to, let's say, PragerU and its push for limited government. Now, what it's essentially trying to say here is that YouTube/Google is in violation of their First Amendment rights, protected by the United States government. And their usual argument is that limited government should be a good thing. But so they want the government to kind of protect them while also preaching for limited government. It's a catch-22 argument. There's no good way to describe it. The comments in this video are going to be very interesting in regards to that. But it's true. It's true. You cannot ask for limited government or limited interference from Big Brother and then ask Big Brother to step in and protect you. It doesn't always work. Now, I do believe that the Internet Bill of Rights is definitely something that should happen and that these companies should hold themselves to a higher account. By that, I mean they should hold themselves to essentially maintaining the First Amendment as the government would, while not being regulated by the government. Like they have to hold themselves to a higher account, but they're not going to do that. Silicon Valley is not going to do that. I think we know that at this point, right? Now, it goes on to say here that the suit claims that Google and YouTube are violating California law in 4 ways. This includes unlawfully restraining free speech in violation of the state's constitution and discriminating against PragerU based upon politic, religious, or other discriminatory animus in violation of California's Unruh Civil Rights Act. PragerU also alleges that Google and YouTube are engaging in unlawful, misleading, and unfair business practices in violation of California's Business and Professions Code, as well as violating YouTube's own terms of use. You're guilty of violating your own terms of service. Now, they talk here about the YouTube restricted mode, saying that YouTube's restricted mode filtering feature is being used to block some of the conservative nonprofit content from the video sharing site, according to PragerU, which also claims that its content falls afoul of YouTube's advertising restrictions. Google/YouTube uses these filtering mechanisms as a pretext to justifying restricting and censoring PragerU's videos. The lawsuit means that PragerU is now running a 2-track litigation against Google at both the state and federal court level. Now, here's the thing with that. Here's the way I view that. So I kind of think like this is where we're going to run into a weird situation. Now, when it talks about the YouTube advertising thing, here's what you got to know about that. It's a bot. All right. So when people claim a video is demonetized, they get the yellow symbol. The yellow symbol doesn't mean it's demonetized. It just means it's in a limited ad state. So in 2019, for example, we do know that advertisers are now given a much larger and much greater listing, or choices, I should say, for where they want to advertise their content, where they want to advertise their ads. And your video gets ranked, rated like a TV show, like TVPG, TVG, TV14, TVMA, things like that. It gets rated very similar to that. Now, that could be used as an argument that YouTube is, in fact, trying to go more towards the television side of things, which I think is probably more accurate than not. But that being said, what we see here is a situation where, they're trying to rate things a certain way, and advertisers are trying to protect their brands, which, given some of the crazier content on YouTube recently, I get it. I do. I understand it. I do get it. So what this means is that, when a bot looks at your channel or looks at your video and it judges it based upon the transcript, it analyzes the transcript, it analyzes what you say, it analyzes if you swear. And I even talked to an engineer when I was at YouTube's headquarters a couple months ago, and I asked her about that, and she said what it does is it looks to see whether or not you are aiming an insult at a specific person. It can analyze that now, which is actually relatively creepy. So that being said, this is how they judge it, and people got to be aware of that. And YouTube, again, is a private corporation that is selling advertisements to other private corporations, and they have their own values and ideas. As much of it sucks, that is where we find ourselves. And again, asking the government to come in and kind of force YouTube to open this thing up is kind of violating their own private corporation rights, as well as would be kind of violating the rights of companies that may not want to advertise on PragerU, which is one of the reasons why we find ourselves in this very weird situation. YouTube has not done a lot to fully talk about this in a way that I find to be affable, right? They haven't done a lot to talk about this in a way that's going to, really kind of explain it. And unfortunately, it causes a lot of confusion. It causes people like PragerU to come in and basically say, hey, what the shit? Now, it goes on to say here that YouTube denies allegations of censorship. Restricted mode is an optional feature used by a small subset of users to filter out videos that may include sensitive or mature content, explained a spokesman. Giving viewers the choice to opt in to more restricted experience is not censorship. In fact, this is the exact type of tool that Congress has encouraged online services to provide for parents and others interested in a more family-friendly experience online. PragerU's videos weren't excluded from restricted mode because of politics or ideology. A federal court has already held that PragerU's allegations are meritless, and we believe the state court will reach the same conclusion. And that's up in the air. I got no idea if they're going to win or lose this one. But I mean, if I had to guess, if I was a bet man, they're going to lose. But winning or losing is not even the point of this particular lawsuit, by the way. It's about getting exposure, right? Because restricted mode, all of my videos are in restricted mode. And it is optional. And it's one of those things that's super optional, and not a lot of people know about it, and it ends up being its own thing. But that's where it's at. That is ultimately where the hell it's at. It's not the end of the goddamn world. People say oh, if a video is age restricted, then it doesn't get into the algorithm, which isn't true, because I found age restricted videos on my home feed on my mobile phone today. Just today. That shocked the hell out of me, but there it is. YouTube does need to 100% be more forthcoming with this information, right? They need to have a town hall with Susan Wojcicki taking comments from creators about what the hell is going on. Don't relegate it to some, no-neck lackey that is sitting in some, oh no, everything YouTube does is A-okay. No. There's information there that needs to be addressed. There's information there that needs to be talked about. And they need to make it more available. Not hidden in product blogs or on the YouTube creator blog that doesn't get blasted to all the creators' inboxes. They don't do that, and they should. They don't do enough to focus, to change the conversation, to be more informative. And in the meantime, we get lawsuits like this that ultimately are going to be a financial loss for Prager, but he's just trying to get more funding and get more people upset at YouTube, which will then equal more donations, and that's his plan. That's his plan. He doesn't expect to win. He just wants to try to get as much out of it as he possibly can. And since he's getting screwed over in the AdSense market, why not push some rage and get some votes that way? Get some money that way. Again, you may not like that analysis, but come on, think about it. Think about it. I think in your heart you know that it's true. Anyway, I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.